Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tiffany Benson, one half of Team Benson, and today we are in the kitchen because I am cooking. I'm actually going to make one chicken that's going to have multiple purposes. Now, one of the things that I really considered, because I have been looking at Butcher Box, and I've really been considering it, and I don't think that it's sometimes enough meat for us to have for a full month. I mean, here in the Benson household, we're not vegetarians, we love our meat. So we eat meat with every single meal. So I'm starting to think, okay, well, if I reduce the amount of meat that we eat and we're eating a more even amount of proteins versus veggies, then, you don't need a 13-ounce steak. Could you deal with a 6-ounce steak? So one of the things I'm going to be trying out before investing in Butcher Box is how much can I use the portions of meat that are going to be provided for you in order to make a full month go by. So one of the options was chicken. Now I have a free-range chicken that is air-chilled from Whole Foods. This is the one that I have. And so I am going to use this one chicken for as many meals as I can. And I'm also going to use it for bone broth because also there's a little bit of sniffles in my house. So I need to get out the ashwagandha root and put it in with the chicken and make some medicine. So let's get to it. Okay, so if you guys don't have a pressure cooker or I think it's called an air fryer, you should get one. This one is the Ninja. It is a pressure cooker, air fryer, steamer, slow cooker, sauteer, baker, roaster, everything. It is delightful. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be able to make my bone broth in here in probably about an hour. So I washed the chicken and I put it breast down. And then it also had some innards in there, so I'm also going to use the neck too as well. So I'm going to now chop up some vegetables, chop up some herbs, and throw them all in here in order to make my bone broth. Okay, so let's talk ashwagandha root. Now, ashwagandha root is used for many different ways and purposes. One of the things that we use it for and that it does is that it helps build an immunity against different like cold and flu viruses and just viruses in general. So a lot of times when I am in between seasons, so right now we are getting ready to like kind of really leave winter and really head into spring. Everything's going to be blooming and everything is going to be agitating us and agitating our lungs. So my asthma's flaring up a little bit, Mr. Benson's allergies are flaring up a little bit, and we're kind of phlegmy. I usually typically do this a little earlier on, like I'll do it a week before the seasons change, but I'm going to do it now so that before we get colds and fevers and can't go to works, we are going to be prepared because we use ashwagandha root. Now, ashwagandha root has one of the strongest flavors I've ever had. So it's not something that you want to use a lot of because it will take over everything. And I'm going to use a lot of heavy herbs with this in order to kind of balance it out and, bring it down a little bit. And basically you only really need like one of these or maybe even a half of these, because when I say it has a strong flavor, it has a really, really strong flavor. It's very like rooty, rhubarby. No, not even rhubarb, but like a root. So I am actually going to only take one little piece of this root and then I'm going to throw that into the pot. So next I have some of our homegrown carrots. So these ones, as you notice, are very, very dirty. So when I pull my carrots, I don't actually wash them. I just put them directly into a bag. So right out of the ground, if I'm not using it right away, I prefer to pull them up out of the ground and then use it. But it's getting a little warm here in Arizona, so have to kind of make it work. So I pulled these up and then just put them right into a bag dirty. This is going to help keep it from like wilting, and it's going to be crunchy. So I'm going to take these out, I'm going to wash these, I'm going to use all of them, and then I'm just going to cut the tops and bottoms off of them, and then I'm going to throw those into the pot. Okay, so one thing about homegrown carrots is that you don't need to peel them. Carrots in the store kind of get like a little crustiness on the outside of them, just because they have been sitting there for so long. These are really, really fresh. I just picked them probably a few days ago, so they don't have any type of skin that is formed on the outside of them. Now then, the only problem is getting it clean. Now, it's annoying to clean a carrot. I get that. You can like be hosing it down and all that, but the one thing that I found which makes cleaning carrots so easy is what I got in my Target haul video, which if you haven't seen, I will put that one down below so that you can see it. But I got this little brush, and it's a veggie brush. On this side is a veggie brush, and on this side is to clean underneath your nails. So it kind of serves two purposes. And all you do is just underwater, just rub it, and it gets all the dirt off of it, and then you have these perfectly clean carrots. So I'm gonna chop these up and then throw them in the pot. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna add in the pot is garlic. Now, garlic has a ton of medicinal purposes. It is a natural antibiotic. So I'm gonna add a whole thing of garlic in there. I'm not gonna worry about taking off all of the papers or anything like that. I'm just gonna actually just kind of get the big ones off to where then it's just a clove of garlic like this, and then I'm gonna throw that in there. But I'm gonna take this down and literally put the whole entire thing in there because I want to make sure our lungs are clear. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna add is just some more different things for flavors. I have onions. Now, normally I would just take a whole onion, cut it in quarters, and then throw it in there, even with the skin on it. But I was in the midst of chopping up onions because I am also one that loves to have convenience foods. So that means I always have pre-cut onions in my freezer. So I'm gonna take some of these, and then I'm gonna take this other half of an onion, and I'm just gonna cut it in half and then throw the whole thing in there. Now I'm going to stick some along the sides, and then I'm going to also stick some in its bum. The other thing that I'm going to do is I have some red bell peppers. I love the flavor of red bell peppers, and I think it goes really well in soups, and it's going to go in some of the dishes that I'm going to use later. So I might as well go ahead and flavor the chicken itself with some red bell peppers in the beginning. So now I have my big giant bag of lemon cubes. So for those of you guys that have been watching my channel, you know that I get lemons from my friends, and I then take them home and I squeeze them and I freeze them in ice cube trays. So then I have lemons all throughout the year that are fresh lemons, because lemons are expensive to buy at the grocery store. So I'm gonna take a couple of these. I do actually have whole lemons too that I froze, but I'm just gonna use the cubes since I haven't thawed out one of the lemons in order to cut it in half. So I'm gonna take some of these, put them in the pot. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna put in it before I add my herbs are black pepper, and then also some Himalayan sea salt, which I'm gonna need to get some more. Now, Himalayan sea salt has a lot of cleansing of the blood properties to it, and then also black pepper has a lot of cleansing properties too as well. So as long as it's ground and not peppercorns, sometimes I do have peppercorns that sometimes I muddle and put in there, but I have some ground pepper, so I'm just gonna do it the easy way. And I'm gonna sprinkle that in there. I'm gonna use heavy amounts of black pepper, just because, especially if we're starting to get to the point to where I can hear phlegm when Mr. Benson coughs, that means that I'm gonna need something to really get in there and kind of break that up. And black pepper really kind of gets into your chest and kind of brings out that phlegm. So let's add this, and then we'll add our herbs, and then we'll add some chicken stock base or beef base, and it'll be ready to go. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the herbs. So now I'm gonna be adding thyme and then also sage. Now thyme I'm using because I love thyme and I just love the flavor. And then sage I'm really using because I want the cleansing properties of sage. Sage can do a lot to clean out your body and detox your body. So when you're looking at a lot of allergens or just different like gunk that's inside of your body, drinking sage water or also cooking with a lot of sage will help kind of get that all clear. So we're gonna throw that in the pot. So the last thing I'm going to put in it before I add the water is Better Than Bouillon. This one is the beef base, or the roast beef base. It's just basically like a bouillon cube, but it has more flavor to it. So I like this one, and I'm just going to use, it says 1 teaspoon. Oh, and then I'm also going to put a stick of butter in it too as well. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon in it, and then put some water in it, and then we're going to put it in that bad boy and let it go. Okay guys, I'm finally done adding things to the pot. The last thing I added was a stick of butter. So now I added, I also added some water. I added the water about 2 cups below the max pressure because I have the ice cubes in there, well, the lemon cubes in there, and I just don't want to go over the max and have it spill everywhere. So now I'm going to add the pressure lid to it, and I'm going to let this cook for an hour and a half. Alright guys, so it's actually the next day, because I finished this pretty late and I fell asleep. But I'm so excited because it smells delightful. So I have the whole chicken, which actually was so tender that it broke in half. So I have the whole chicken that I'm going to shred up, and I'm going to make different meals with it. I'm going to make soup. I'm going to make a chicken and artichoke and tomato and lemon butter over rice, and then I'm gonna use the rest just for us to have a piece of chicken with some broccoli. And then I have the broth. One of the things I like to do when I make the broth is I let it cool down, and then I put it in the refrigerator overnight, and I let it develop this layer of fat, as you guys can see. So actually, let's get a better angle of this. So I let it develop this layer of fat. Now that's pretty much just the fat of the chicken and also the butter that I put in it to season the chicken with too as well. So I'm going to remove this layer of fat, and then I'm going to strain the rest of, I'm going to put it back into the pressure cooker, add a little bit more water, and then I'm going to strain everything out of it, and that'll be my chicken stock. So that's gonna start my family off with 3 meals plus chicken stock in order to have a healthier immune system since we've had the sniffles around here, and since seasons are changing. So it has everything in it that's going to power our immune systems and make sure that our immune systems are fighting strong. So I encourage you guys to grow your own food and also to make chicken stock, because you can pack a lot of the different vitamins and minerals that you need for your body into one dish. In my case, since I cooked a whole chicken, I can do it in multiple dishes too as well. So always remember guys, make sure you're growing yourself a garden, because even a small space garden can provide you with tons of food and chicken stock.